Damn, I wish I could pull that off. Go ahead.
What?
What?
Hey, it's me.
Prove it.
You're a dick.
Okay.
Request for you to not be a bitch. Request denied. Hey, guys, Bucky and I have something we want to tell you. Oh, yeah? Floor is yours, Cat. We're together.
Oh? Like, romantically?
Yeah. You guys aren't surprised? Well, yeah, you've been together the whole time, right? What? No. Really? Yes! Are you sure about that? What do you mean? Yes, I'm sure. Bucky? Why are you asking Bucky? Jury's out for me, honestly.
What?
Because of the brainwashing? That and there was definitely a lot of blurred lines, even before the ice. What are you talking about? Do you want a list? All of you owe me $20. Damn it, I forgot about that.
You bet on this?
Steve, if I die, how much would you miss me? It's cute how you think death will get you out of this relationship. Steve, hey, listen, all I'm saying is I thought I was gonna die before you. Literally up until you were drafted. Okay, fair, but like, I wasn't planning on living much longer than you either. Oh, okay. So, you're being a hypocrite. Steve!
Steve, I need you to get back on Twitter. What? Yeah, what did you see, Barnes?
James. PR took away Twitter from Cap. Because of the Nazis.
That's still messed up, okay? Nazis shouldn't be on Twitter.
It's a cesspool, but that's just not where you should be fighting. I literally died fighting Nazis, and they're still around. You died because you were being a drama queen.
No, he died because he was pulling an Achilles.
Holy shit, I never thought about it that way.
What? I'm Patroclus?
Yes. Yes. Okay. Okay, so why are we trying to piss off the PR team, Bucky?
I'm scared.
Bucky, you're a World War II veteran.
World War II didn't prepare me for people who want to fuck the Winter Soldier. Oh no, you found that side of the internet. Of course I found that side of the internet. I am the Winter Soldier.
Bucky, what did you see? People want to be strangled with the arm.
What do you mean? What? No!
Don't tell me kink didn't exist in the 40s. Oh no, it did.
What?
What? Okay, guys, I appreciate all that you're doing for Bucky and I, but I need you guys to dial it back by like 100. This is too much. This is just really isn't Bucky and I's style. Oh, come on, Cap. You two are getting hitched. This is like the wedding of the century. Come on, that's a bit dramatic. I mean, I don't know. It took you guys about that long to get together in the first place. Ugh. I can't even get mad because you're not wrong.
Did you know that statistically you're more likely to get bitten by a New Yorker than you are by a shark? Yeah, that checks out. I mean, I get bitten by a New Yorker almost every day, so I'm not surprised. I'm sorry, what? Bucky. When did you become such a menace? I've known you for the better part of 90 years, my love. I'm gonna pretend I didn't hear any of that.
So I'm thinking about cosplaying Spider-Man again. I have been thinking about it for years, I just, haven't. But, one, I've been wanting to do this for years, and two, my partner and I are discussing doing a Spidey Pool cosplay at the next con we go to. So, listen, I never actually got into Spidey Pool. I am now. I started reading the Spider-Man/Deadpool comic. It's a thing. Also, just a reminder that if you are consuming Marvel content, sail the seas, whether it shows, movies, anything. Don't give money to Disney or Marvel if you can avoid it. Along with this, I'm just, consuming other forms of Spider-Man media. Every so often, I just do that. Over the years, I've watched all of the live-action movies. I've watched Spider-Verse. I've watched Spectacular Spider-Man. Now it's Ultimate Spider-Man. And part of the reason I am watching Ultimate Spider-Man was because someone told me that they do Spidey Pool pretty well. So I did just watch the Deadpool episode, because there's only one. I thought that he would be, like, chilling, like, in a round in the series. It doesn't look like that's gonna happen. But, anyway, watch the episode with Deadpool in it, the Ultimate Deadpool episode. Girl, why is the voice actor for Deadpool the same fucking voice actor that was Ron Stoppable? Will Friedle is Deadpool in this series. And it's so funny, because at first, I was like, his voice is familiar, but, like, I wasn't sure. And the more that I watched the episode, the more that I was like, is this Ron fucking Stoppable? And I checked, and it was. Hearing Ron Stoppable's voice, like, I've been watching Kim Possible since I was, like, 6. Hearing that voice say the things that Deadpool did in that episode was so funny. Like, I didn't know I needed that in my life. I don't know, like, some voice actors, because of how distinct their voice is, it's really hard to, like, not, like, picture and imagine the character that you know them as and have known them as for so long. Like, Scott Menville playing Bucky in Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes, whenever I hear his voice, even in that show when he's playing Bucky, my brain is immediately like, this is Robin. That's Dick Grayson. That's Robin. That's not Bucky. But no, like, Will Friedle did a really good job, and I'm like, it's actually insane how, like, well he did it. Like, what? I mean, I guess, like, Ron was always a really silly character, so it just, like, having to flip it so you are, like, way far into the silly, chaotic part, and just incorporate the murderous aspect, then you're there. But I don't know, it was really funny. I'm not quite clear on how old Deadpool's supposed to be in this, like, show, or in the one episode he's in, so, like, I don't really want to ship it, just because I'm like, is he also a teenager? Like, what? So if anyone is curious, it is unclear if they're the same age in Ultimate Spider-Man, so therefore I wouldn't say that as the media I would go to if you're looking for Spidey Pool. Literally just read the comics, because they're actually adults in the comics, and it's actually semi-canon in the comics, which is hilarious. Semi-canon as in, like, Deadpool has a crush on him canonically, and Spider-Man is just like, nar. But they're silly about it. Steve? Bucky? Yeah. I saw this coming. Oh, great. I'm glad whatever you did didn't completely fry your fucking brain. Actually, I have a photographic memory now, so... Oh, great, so I can get an in-depth explanation of what the hell you were thinking? Okay, I was thinking that it wasn't fair that they were gonna leave you to die. Right, yeah, okay. Yeah, that didn't answer any of my questions, Steve. Well, then you gotta be more specific, Buck. Stephen Grant Rogers, last time I saw you, you were 90 pounds soaking wet, 5 feet tall, and you had asthma. Now, you're taller than me, built like a brick shit house, and Captain America. Great performances, by the way, so you want to explain what the hell you did? Well, it's kind of a long story. I have all the time in the world. Start talking. Guys, come on. I think I've been making Marvel TikToks long enough for you guys to know better than to comment stuff like this. Of course they kissed. But, you know, I make these videos all by myself. It's just me. At least in terms of filming and acting. I consult many people about the videos. Against their will, usually. I'm kidding. Kind of. But yeah, no. In a scene like this, especially if they're gonna kiss, they're gonna kiss. And I just, yeah, no, I'm good. I don't need to represent that when it's just me. However, I have a partner who likes to go along with my dumb shit, so if you guys actually really do want a Stucky video where we actually get a Stucky kiss, I can make that happen. I was filming this video yesterday, and if you read the caption, you will know, well, first of all, thought I bruised my wrist. No, but this, is that a bruise? Either way, so, like, this part of my hand is a bit swollen from doing this against the wall multiple times, and then afterwards slamming my hand against the wall multiple times to make it sound like I was, like, physically slamming myself against the wall. And I also hit my head 4 times. I didn't put that in the caption. I forgot to. I actually forgot that it happened because, like, the wrist and hand thing was more recent, I guess. But I did also smack my head against the wall, like, 3 or 4 times. And I told Jasper that, and he was like, why would you do this? Don't hurt yourself for a video. And I was like, listen, I needed Bucky to pin Steve to the wall. And he was like, and you couldn't wait for me to be there? Like, you couldn't just wait? So, Jasper and I have also, like, kind of discussed cosplaying Stucky again anyway. Plus, I have convinced them, and by convince, I mean I said I had an idea, and he agreed with no hesitation. I've convinced him to do a Spidey Pool skit with me that I have mostly scripted, and we don't even have the cosplays for that, and we aren't even, like, planning on doing the cosplay until April. So, but after all this time, after all the times of doing Marvel videos, and especially doing Stucky stuff, I think all of us deserve a Stucky kiss, including myself. Especially if you consider the amount of times Jasper and I almost kissed when we were in Stucky cosplay. I think we're all owed that. Anyway, I don't even know what this video was. I was gonna just make the joke, oh, like, of course they kissed, and then I just started yapping, so, yeah. What's new? I need to go home. I just got off work. Okay.
I think the day I finally know peace is the day people will stop arguing about whether or not Bucky deserved to die for killing Tony's parents as the Winter Soldier. Guys, the movie came out 8 years ago. Why are we still arguing about this? First of all, canonically, Bucky didn't have a choice. Canonically, he's literally pardoned for those actions, as it is understood that he was not in his right mind or at all in control of his actions, because he had been brainwashed and tortured for 70 years and forced to do Hydra's bidding. And canonically, it's shown that he was beaten for disobeying an order or not responding to a command. He has a violent outburst in the Winter Soldier movie when they're doing maintenance, I believe doing maintenance on his arm, and then dozens of people pull their guns on him, and then Pierce comes up and asks for a status report, and when he doesn't respond, he just smacks him. And Bucky has no reaction to that. As he is well aware, if he responds in any way he's not supposed to, he will either be tortured or killed. More likely tortured. He was also kept in cryo-freeze when he wasn't useful to them. And I believe there's a very real possibility that he was, like, aware while he was frozen. I don't know for sure, but that is a theory, that he was aware the whole time, like, awake, even while frozen. Again, could be wrong. If that is disproven, feel free to let me know, but it's from what I remember. And one of the most frustrating things about the argument is that people say, oh, okay, even if he wasn't in control, he still killed Tony's parents. Okay, so are you arguing that Tony's reaction was valid? Because does Tony's reaction make sense? Yes. Was it justified? No. Tony doesn't have an authority on who should live or who should die. So yeah, Tony being upset and using the suit to try to kill Bucky made sense, given everything he'd been through, an understandable reaction. However, so was Cap's. So was Steve's. That was his childhood best friend, who his entire emotional arc revolved around. The person who took care of him, the only person who was by his side for the longest time. For the longest time, all he had was his mom and Bucky, and then after that, all he had was Bucky. He canonically says, even when I had nothing, I had Bucky. This is his one constant. This is his best friend. This is his soulmate. Whether or not you ship Stucky, platonically they are at least soulmates. Of course he's going to protect Bucky. And the whole fight, at no point does he ever attempt to shoot any fatal blows, but the entire time that Tony was fighting, he was shooting and fighting to kill Bucky. Steve was literally just protecting Bucky. And ultimately what he did, and what everyone kind of like focuses on, was he chose to break the arc reactor that powered the suit, because what gave Tony the power to kill Bucky was the Iron Man suit. Even then, there's the moment where Tony thinks he's gonna bash him in the head with the shield. And he intentionally does not do that and breaks the thing that is giving Tony the power to hurt Bucky. That wasn't an attempted fatal blow, the way that Tony's were. And mind you, it's very, like, when you analyze the scene, it's pretty obvious he's holding back up until Tony blew Bucky's arm off, because that was when he understood that Tony was serious and he was genuinely making an attempt on Bucky's life. And anytime people bring this up, I always hear the argument of, but Steve kept the fact that Bucky killed Tony's parents a secret from Tony. I'm not saying that Steve wasn't wrong for keeping that from Tony. But again, given this, if you really think about what happened when he found out, can you blame him? I don't think it was the right thing. I think Tony deserved to know, and I think he should have found out from Steve. But again, that isn't an argument towards whether or not Bucky should be at fault for what he did as the Winter Soldier, and that isn't an argument towards whether or not Cap had the right to protect his friend. Like, should Steve have told Tony what happened? Yes. Did Tony have the right to be angry both at Steve and at Bucky for, one, Steve not telling him that Bucky killed his parents, and two, for Bucky being the person to kill his parents? Yeah. Did he have the right to kill Bucky? No. Did Cap have the right to protect Bucky? Yes. Like, neither one of those points is disproven from any of these arguments. But I think that's what's, like, also really frustrating about the MCU when adapting Bucky's story, is that the point of the story and of characters like Bucky and like Natasha and Yelena is that they did what they had to survive. And genuinely, they did not have another choice. People do things they don't want and that they'll regret for the rest of their lives. And things that are so far from what they would ever wish to do. Because they have no other choice. Because they're being forced to do it. Because it is their only option. Because it is the safest option. But the MCU really didn't do them justice. And take the time and care that it takes to represent that kind of story. But it's just like, the lack of media literacy is insane, because the whole point of that arc, of the Winter Soldier arc, was that Bucky was stripped of his identity. And had absolutely no control over any part of his life. Like, that's the point, is that everything the Winter Soldier did was not Bucky. He was stripped of his identity and forced to be a machine, essentially. It's a metaphor. And you guys are missing the entire point.
You know, when I got into Spideypool, I had no idea what I was getting myself into. You know what? If I'm being so honest, I thought... I didn't think it was gonna be this good. To be fair, though, my experience with Spideypool, very limited, because, you know, a lot of the fixations that I've had on Marvel has, like, been primarily on MCU stuff, and to be fair as well, a lot of fanfics and, like, fan content are based around the MCU version of the characters. So Spideypool just, like, doesn't
work when we're talking about the cinematic universes. At least, like, specifically Tom Holland's Spider-Man. Anyway, point is, every single time before now that I, like, consumed Spidey Pool content, or, like, was exposed to Spidey Pool content, was not on purpose. And most of the time it was MCU Peter. And I was like, what the fuck? And literally, you know what, like, the worst part about it is, like, you know, it's weird if people would, like, take him from the movies and then just age him up just to ship him with Wade. That would still be weird, but they just don't do that. I straight up read one where Peter was still 17 and Wade was, like, 40. And they're like, okay. Huh? Like, I shit you not. I was reading a Stucky fic and that happened once, and I was like, what the... Anyway, but getting into, like, canon Spider-Man and Deadpool dynamics is hilarious. Having read, I'm reading the comic now, and I was, you know, doing research, because of course I do. You know what? One time I was hanging out with my friend in fucking Los Angeles. I can speak. We were in their dorm, and they were like, what are you doing? We were both, like, just on our phones, and I was like, I'm reading the fan wiki for Bucky Barnes. They thought I was joking. I wasn't. And, like, then they looked at my phone, they were like, oh my god. But, so, yeah. Research Spidey Pool. Why do they literally have a biological child? What the fuck? Like, they have a child that is biologically both of theirs. They were not, like, involved in it necessarily. Well, they were, but they weren't, because it was like they took Wade's DNA and Spider-Man's DNA and then made a person. Also, I just got to the part of the comic where they're like, Spider-Man is on his cheat list, and then they also danced in their underwear and did the lift from Dirty Dancing?
I'm tired. What? Okay. So in the Deadpool and Wolverine, they said that they were in Earth 616, and I just looked up the name of Wade and Peter's child, which is Itsy Bitsy, by the way, and they said that is canon to Earth 616. I also just discovered that this character is introduced in, the 8th issue of the Spider-Man / Deadpool comic. Which one am I? I'm on the 5th one. Oh my god. I will update when I get to that point of the comic on what the fuck is going on with that. I was just gonna look up more information about it. Because, like, I did read up a bit about it before, and then I just, most of the information, it just left my brain. It was probably like 3 a.m. when I found it. If it's me, let's be honest. But instead, I'm just gonna come back and let you know what the hell's going on there. Yeah, no, I didn't know what I was getting into. It's hilarious, and I actually love it. Also, the identity porn in the Spider-Man / Deadpool comic is god tier. Literally, him trying to become friends with Spider-Man, and then being hired to kill Peter Parker. He dies in the 4th issue, too. He's, like, in the in-between somewhere. I don't know. I'm, like, halfway through the 5th issue, and, like, Deadpool's in hell, and he's like, where the fuck is he? I actually love it. I'm having the best time. That's how he reacted before he knew how you got there. I stand by that reaction to this day. I can't believe... I just can't. How do you handle finding out about the grenade? The what? You didn't tell him about the grenade? What grenade? Oh. What grenade, Steve? What? Steve. Don't you dare try to lie to me. Damn! I'm just gonna go.
Don't do anything stupid until I get back.
How can I? Taking all the stupid with you.
You're a punk.
Jerk. Careful.
The little ledge here too. I don't know what you want us to do now. My sunglasses.
Hey Wade, can you do me a favor? Spidey, I would literally cut out my kidneys and give them to you if you needed. That's great, Wade, especially knowing that you literally would just grow them back. Well, yeah, but it still hurts. Okay, anyway, I just need pads. Can you pick those up for me? Please. Yeah? What's your pussy size? That's not... That's not... 4. Got it. I chose this. One of the drawbacks of being ace is that since I almost never fuck around, I rarely get to find out. I can tell you everything you want. I am so turned on right now and seriously terrified of you. That's the appropriate response. I know that it wasn't on the screen for very long, but I do explicitly say that it was a canon scene in the Spider-Man / Deadpool comic. I literally went and found it because I read it a few days ago. The context is like right at the end of the first volume. Isn't it romantic? I want to say this is the 8th issue. Right there. And there. Along with that, they're also canonically heartmates. That's not in this. It's the Monsters Unleashed comic, but it's real. He also canonically has a free pass list of like people he can cheat on his wife with. There's 5 people on the list, and Spider-Man is number 5. So this is a comic that was created because people liked Spider-Man and Deadpool's dynamic so much in the comics. So I need you guys to listen to me when you call Spidey Pool shippers weird. This is canon. And it's like, I can't believe I have been through this. This is the second ship in a row that this has happened for, where they'll like get mad because in a different edition the characters have an age difference. Like, they lean into it canonically in the comics, and then in the movies, Deadpool and Spider-Man never interact. Don't get me wrong, I have witnessed the people who ship MCU Spider-Man and Deadpool. I see the issue there. But assume I'm talking about a comic version, or like Andrew Garfield's version, because he and Ryan Reynolds like have kissed. So I think that's funny. Also, just timeline-wise, they would be closer in age anyway. And same fucking thing with people with Stucky shippers who get mad at Stucky shippers because in the comics, Bucky was 16 when Cap was 22. In the MCU movies, Bucky is a year older than Steve. So most people ship Stucky, ship that version of them that are a year apart in age, and Bucky is actually the one older. Not to say that this is what this person was doing, it's just like, I since posting Spidey Pool stuff, I've gotten comments about it, and it's just reminding me of when I was like into Stucky, where it was like, right now people are like, oh, but like he's a teenager, and I'm like, in the movies, not in the comics. And then when it was Stucky, it was like, oh, people who read the comics, this is weird because he's a child in the comics. Like, well, he isn't in the movies. There's a multiverse. They're all different ages in every universe. And again, when we're talking specifically Spidey Pool, they literally explicitly lean into it and have Deadpool have a canonical crush on Spider-Man. And they're canonically heartmates. Now, Spidey, remember, no matter what happens, you're not allowed to fall in love with me. Yep. Won't be a problem, Wade. There's a problem. You know how lucky you are that I want you, Spidey? What, Wade? Do you know how many people want me? Like, you should feel grateful.
You know what, Wade? I'm actually gonna not be selfish and let someone else who really wants you and who could appreciate you have you. Come on, Peter. You're gonna pass this up? Yeah. Peter, the city of Regina wants to put up a statue of me. What? There's been petitions to put up a statue of me. The city keeps rejecting it, but... Why? Because it's my home city. Right. Trust me, they'll tell you. Who's they, Wade? People in the comments. Right. Sure. I'm like up there with Nathan Fillion for the Edmontonians. Huh? Edmonton renamed their city hall, so there was a petition to rename it the Nathan Fillion Civilian Pavilion, because Nathan Fillion is from Edmonton. Right. And they did it too, for like 48 hours in 2019. But they still did it. Mm-hmm. Come on, Peter, the city that rhymes with fun wants me. And you don't? Okay, wait, until you let me take the katana out of your head, I'm not continuing this conversation. For context, this is a comment replying to me saying that I have Bucky's star tattooed on my arm. If you scroll through my videos on my Marvel playlist, there's quite a few where it's on display. In general, there's quite a few where it's on display, but bam. I got the outline. It's not the red star, it's just, you know, the outline for various reasons. But yeah, it'll be a year old on November 29th, I believe. What's got you, mopey Spidey? Oh, you know, just apparently the only late I'm getting is off, so... Damn, that sucks. Mm-hmm. But I mean, if you want to change that, like, at any point, all you gotta do is ask. What? I mean, some would say that's one of my specialties? Okay, wait, first of all, I'm not telling you where I work. Second of all, please don't threaten any of my bosses with violence. I do not need that. Well, that wasn't what I meant. But I could do that too. What? Then what did you mean? Oh, Jesus Christ. Baby boy, you are so dense.
To make history, I'll stay here, hook up with the posse, because you know me. I'm a posse magnet. I mean, I love posse. Make that into a t-shirt. You done?
I love fanon content so much it's not even funny, but the issue comes with when people make fanon content that's better than the canon, at least for me to consume, but it's like such a niche that like there isn't much to go off of. It's like 90% just the creator making it, and then maybe 10%, not even, of some people who are fans of it making content for it. So with this being said, let me tell you about the Hunting Spider Spidey Pool AU that's on Tumblr that has me in a chokehold. It's by Hemlock-Dreams on Tumblr. Everything about it is just, I just love it. These two comic panels they made for it are what got me into it. Look at how they draw Peter. Peter's fucking built in this universe, which is like, someone made this joke, like, most Spider-Man, like, comics, he's kind of a twink. But this one, he's, like, fucking built, and it's really fucking interesting to see. Because, like, to an extent, it makes sense that Spidey is still kind of, like, lean. Like, he's strong, but it's still, like, long muscles as opposed to big ones. Which is something I can appreciate to an extent as, like, a dancer who, like, I'm stronger than I look because I work on smaller muscles and work on longer muscles as opposed to, like, big bulky ones, just based on the way that I train. But at the same time, there's no reason he can't be, like, fucking ripped in one universe, you know? Every time I see how they draw Peter, I'm like, can that be me, please? It's not even just that. He also has, like, tons of tattoos and piercings. Which, you know what? Why the fuck not? Gwen Stacy and her eyebrow piercing is fucking iconic. Let Peter Parker have his piercings and tattoos. This video is already 2 minutes long where I'm basically yapping about nothing. If you guys want me to yap about the lore, let me know. I probably will do it anyway. Also, they do write, like, NSFW and draw NSFW stuff, by the way, so if you are under 18, do not go looking for it. Please and thank you, for several reasons, ranging from my conscience to just the fact that you probably shouldn't be consuming that if you're under 18. But yeah, if you guys want to check it out, or hear me yap about it, just, like, comment down below, because I'm losing my fucking mind over this little universe. I will yap, and I'm gonna start by reading you the lore info dump page, so please bear with me. You can find this post on their Tumblr, but Peter B. Parker is a young troublemaker who has a problem with authority. He also has a knack for picking apart tech and putting it back together, which puts him on the radar for a small-time gang that needs someone to act as their alarm system breaker for a big score. Unfortunately, said score had bad intel, and what was supposed to be a simple robbery turns out to be manslaughter when the resulting fire that was supposed to cover up their tracks ends up killing 2 guards. Peter is tried as an adult with the rest of the gang and sentenced to Rikers for 5 years. At Rikers, Peter meets Flint Marko, who takes Peter under his wing and teaches him how to survive and thrive while wearing the orange. Life goes on for 5 years. He learns the trade, gets some tats, learns how to make some good shivs, and becomes a better criminal all around. Yay, prison! Peter gets out at 21 and reunites with Uncle Ben and Aunt May. He does his best to clean up his act, but normal life is hard for someone who spent their formative years in prison. He also makes some questionable hair and fashion choices. What can I say? He's catching up. He goes from job to job trying to pay back his aunt and uncle for all their support, but is completely unequipped for the real world. After a few months working / getting fired from soul-crushing menial jobs, brackets high school dropout, he agrees to take one last job with Marko that is guaranteed to set him up for life. This robbery goes off without a hitch. No one is hurt, and they make off after hitting a heavily armored Oscorp transport with a ton of documents / tech that they aim to sell to the highest bidder. The biggest mystery is that one glowing vial of untested experimental serum they found. Unfortunately, Oscorp doesn't take robbery lightly. Marko finds out through contacts that the serum, whatever it is too hot to sell on the market. So he instructs Peter to get rid of it so it can't be traced back to them. Peter, a rational 22-year-old ex-con, gets rid of it by mixing the serum into ink and tattooing it into his wrist, triggering the start of his mutation. It takes a bit, but Peter gets all the regular Spider-Man benefits. Webs are organic, plus one more. The serum was created from the venom of the Portia spider, a hunting / jumping spider known to be uniquely intelligent among arachnids. Alongside the speed, strength, and Spidey sense, Peter also grows some fangs that secrete a powerful venom. The venom speeds up the body's processes, working almost like an insane performance booster, and enhancing an injected person's strength, speed, and senses for a few hours. Unfortunately, repeated doses also eventually induce shock, paralysis, and later, death. He gives a few samples of it to Marko as an exit fee. Uncle Ben was suspicious of how Peter suddenly got so much money, but took him on good faith. But while he was watching the news that covered the Oscorp robbery, connected the dots and had a blowout fight with Peter that ended with him having a cardiac event. Unfortunately, he did not survive. Aunt May and Peter were estranged over this for several years. This event crushes Peter, sobering him up immediately. He goes back and gets his high school diploma and works on night courses in college. However, he spends much of his days wandering, angry at himself and what he did. He beats up a mugger one day and realizes that he could be using his powers to back up the faith Ben had in him. Spider-Man is born. Eventually, he and Aunt May reunite, and their relationship is slowly healing. A few years later, Peter's on the up and up. He and Aunt May are close again. He's got a bachelor's in computer science, has a semi-steady job, and is well-liked as Spider-Man by the populace at large. Unfortunately, a variant of his venom, developed by Kingpin, hits the streets as a drug. It's favored by both criminals for its performance-enhancing strength, as well as civilians for the time-slowing sensation / high it gives them. His girlfriend, Mary Jane, who has been sober for a few years, relapses. Peter, knowing that he can't stop her from getting it on her own, reveals his identity and becomes her main source. At least this way, he can control the dosage. Marko, who sold Peter's venom to Kingpin, manages to fire off his only 2 brain cells and realizes that Spider-Man is Peter Parker. Then he outs him to the world because Spider-Man made it personal. Peter's life catches on fire. The entire world is after him. His loved ones have to go into hiding because there's no shortage of criminals and psychopaths who want to get their hands on MJ and Aunt May to get to Spider-Man. Peter ceases to exist. It's not safe anymore. He spends days, weeks, months in the suit. Eventually, on the run and burnt out, he pleads his case to Doctor Strange in desperation, a la No Way Home.
Everyone deserves a clean start. Doctor Strange agrees, but the spell can't work with Peter still existing as part of the equation, so it fires him off into a reality where Peter B. Parker, and by extension, Spider-Man never existed. So, how's an ex-con / ex-superhero, for now, supposed to carve a space in a world that never knew him? By finding somewhere that doesn't ask any questions. And it just so happens that St. Margaret's School for Wayward Children has a reputation for both being a bar of questionable repute and looking the other way. Might as well start there. That took me 5 minutes. Anyway, that's how we'll start. I love when previous hyperfixations show up with a vengeance and are like, you didn't learn enough last time. Because with getting into Spidey pools, of course, resurfaced my Spider-Man hyperfixation I had at 17. And even a bit when I was 14. But I didn't really start reading comics until the last year. So, here I am. And I stayed up until 1 a.m. watching a 70-minute long video on the history of Spider-Man up until the Superior Spider-Man comics. Now I'm watching the video on the Superior Spider-Man comics. And then after that, I guess it's gonna be about Ultimate Spider-Man. This is alongside reading the Spider-Man comics. But you know what? I've been reading the Spider-Man / Deadpool comics, and I finally know why the fuck Peter is running a company called Parker Industries, because I kind of just accepted it. Every time I read a comic, there's usually like context I'm missing, and I just kind of accept it. And sometimes I look up why, sometimes I don't. Parker Industries is one of those things where I was like, you know what, I'll find out eventually, probably. This video explained it. Of all the ways he would end up with his own company, this was not what I was expecting, but to be honest with you, if he was ever going to have his own company, this honestly makes the most amount of sense. Also, the context that this has helped me gain to understand certain aspects of the MCU as well. Though I will say, the Civil War comic compared to the movie, I'm kind of mad that he didn't switch sides like he does in the comics. I think that was a missed opportunity there. Anyway, I did not need my Spider-Man fixation to be worse than it already was. Like, I really didn't. Especially now that I have adult money and a credit card. Like, all the Bucky Barnes shit I have, and it's hard to find Bucky Barnes merch. Okay? That poster, and that one. The only reason those are the only ones that I have are because those are the only ones I could find. And right now I refuse to buy any licensed merchandise from Marvel or from Funko. So I bought these from someone. I started reading Spider-Man / Deadpool in like September. I've already bought 2 of the comics. I've got Don't Call It a Team Up and the first volume of Spider-Man / Deadpool. The only reason those are the only ones I have is because I am buying them all secondhand, and I'm mostly buying them off of eBay. Because again, not buying anything licensed. But Spider-Man is Marvel's most popular character. So finding even like fan merch on like Etsy for him is so fucking easy. So anyway, guys, subscribe to my YouTube. I make money off of there. I need adult money. Like, this is not about it. I have 2 Deadpool posters, and they're from before I really got much into Deadpool. And then there's that one, too, but that's a little sticker. I got from someone when I was cosplaying Princess Bubblegum, and I walked past him, and he handed me a tray full of candy. And then I saw that, and that was after I started getting into Deadpool as a character. That was after Deadpool and Wolverine. Also, I'm planning on cosplaying Spider-Man, because my partner's cosplaying Deadpool. The end. Spider-Man / Deadpool bullshit. I'm a simple guy who wants Spider-Man merch, but specifically doesn't want licensed stuff, so I can't even ask for it for Christmas, because everyone's gonna get me licensed stuff, and then I'm gonna be like, oh no. Also, now I'm trying to figure out, because I've been thinking about it since I was 17, trying to figure out, Spider-Man tattoo, because I've been wanting to get a Spider-Man tattoo since I was 17, like I said. I just don't know what I want to get. And now I'm thinking about it more and more, the more that I get into Spider-Man. And it's just slowly gotten worse, because I have... Last time, I was also in school, mind you, because I was literally in grade 12. Last year of high school, I had no time to think about anything but school. But school, my job, and dance, because I was dancing literally 8 times a week. And then I was also a student choreographer. So no, I had no time to think about all of that. And now I can. It's a problem. So Otto Octavius fucks around and does a body swap thing, so he and Peter switch bodies, and Otto's body was all, like, old and dying. So Peter tries to be like, hey guys, that isn't me. Help, and then ends up dying in Otto's body. So Otto just has Peter's body now. And he decides to be Spider-Man and Peter Parker, but this is why it's called the Superior Spider-Man comics. He's gonna be the Superior Spider-Man. So he decides, among other things, to get a doctorate. Because he's personally offended that Peter never got one. And apparently throughout the comics there are just times where he complains about Peter's life, and Peter's like, I'd like to see you do it better, and then he proceeds to do it better. And then, you know, one of the things he ends up doing is making his own company, Parker Industries. Now, eventually, of course, Peter gets his body back, because he was literally haunting the narrative. He was a ghost for a good chunk of it, just watching Otto fuck around with his body, until Otto figured it out and got rid of him, and that caused issues. But then shit happened, and he admitted that he wasn't better than Peter Parker, and Peter got his body back, and Otto is dead. For now. So when Peter got his body back, he just was now the CEO of a company, of Parker Industries. That's my understanding of it. This is the summary of the video summarizing how that ended up happening. So, you know, take it with a grain of salt. But, like, at the same time, as well, like, this makes total sense to me, that it wasn't Peter who did this, it was Otto Octavius using his body! Not that he couldn't, I just don't see why he would want to. By the way, Deadpool calling Spider-Man Baby Boy is canon. And I have just discovered that it is in one of the comic issues that is in Don't Call It a Team Up. I shouldn't be this excited, but I'm simply just a guy. According to this, it's from the 2008 run of Deadpool, issue number 19. Spidey, what's up, baby boy? I haven't seen you since Amazing Spider-Man number 611. So for anyone curious as to why I had Deadpool call Spidey baby boy in one of my videos, and you know what, all the people who were in the comments saying this is canon, to which I got to respond, it is canon. There you go. That's where it is. It was in that specific run of Deadpool, issue number 19. I'm looking into it. Looks like that run ran from 2008 to 2012, so, which is kind of insane, but you know, you could either read that comic run to see that team up, or read Don't Call It a Team Up. And as always, sail the seas, buy them secondhand, do not give any money to Marvel. I bought this comic used, so. I've seen a few Tumblr posts about an incorrect quote of Spidey checking the TV to see that apparently Spider-Man died, and then Deadpool bursting in wearing his suit and being like, I know you said not to take the suit. I want you guys to know that something similar actually happens in the comics, but it was intentional. Deadpool intentionally stole Spidey's suit to fake Spidey's death. Peter just woke up and saw on the news that they were reporting that they found Spider-Man. And this isn't the same comic issue, but it's in the same comic and the same, like, team-up portion as the one where he calls Peter baby boy. It's also in Don't Call It a Team-Up, because it's all the team-up comics, right? As I said, Deadpool 2008 issue number 19 is the comic issue where he calls Peter baby boy. Right here. Spidey, what up, baby boy? Haven't seen you since Amazing Spider-Man number 611. The issue where he steals Spidey's suit to fake his death is Deadpool 2008 number 21. Just the weird oh no, he took my costume. And then Spider-Man dies is just on the news. So there's another thing that I also thought was fanon right out of the comics.
Spidey! What up, baby boy? Hi. Wait. Are you good? What? Yeah.
I'm fine. You hungover or something? What? No, I don't drink. We've been over this. That still doesn't make any sense. Like, really, how do you drown out the voices? Wade. Okay, if you're not hungover, then what's happening? Nothing. Buddy, when's the last time you slept? What? When's the last time you slept? Oh, come on, Wade. Answer the question or I'm gonna kidnap you and tie you to my bed. Not in a kinky way. Unless you're into that. And when you're more lucid. You know, honestly, I believe that you didn't mean it that way. Oh yeah, something is definitely wrong. Wait. I slept fine. Uh-huh. It's cold. Yeah. It's December in New York. It's cold and the heater in my suit broke, so I'm cold. Spiders hibernate, Wade. So what, you're going into hibernation? Oh, Spidey, please don't go into hibernation. I can't take care of New York myself. Okay, you wouldn't be taking care of New York by yourself. Ever. Um, but no, I'm not gonna be hibernating for the winter. So at least I won't as long as I stay warm enough and occasionally have to take some other supplements to make sure that it doesn't happen. Oh, thank God, I was not prepared to have to go months without you. Oh, I kind of wish I did hibernate right about now. Right, sure. You would miss me. But man, wow. I thought my biology was freaky. Wade, you can literally heal anything, even if you're blown up into pieces. Hibernating's not freakier than that. I'm not saying the hibernating is, but like, don't tell me that's the only other spider trait you have. You know it isn't. Yeah, but do you just only advertise the cool ones? Uh-huh. Come on, let's just get this over with so I can go back. Whoa. Whoa, okay, no. What are you doing? I'm trying to hug you. Why? Body heat, baby boy. I run hot because of my metabolism. No, just, you are in no shape to fight. So I'm gonna warm you up until you are lucid enough to get to one of my safe houses so you can rest. I don't need to rest. Then warm up. What does that matter? I'll just get cold as soon as I go out. I'll give you one of my suits. I think two Deadpools walking around will send New York into chaos. Oh, come on. I have other suits. Well, then I'll give you some mitts and a jacket. I'm from Saskatchewan. I have all the winter gear you could possibly need. How's that gonna work? And I can get you a cab home with a jacket and gloves. Whoa, no way. We'll figure this out when we're someplace warmer. We either go to a safe house or I bring you to your apartment. Do you want to show me where you live now? Fine. Wait. Yes? You can let go of me now. Right.
When I tell you, that doesn't make sense. How else do you drown out the voices is a canon line from the Spider-Man and Deadpool comics. This is just all of my videos have been lately, have just me been people commenting shit on my skits and then me whipping out the comic. I'm like, okay, listen. Here it is, first volume of Spider-Man and Deadpool. Just drink something harder than soda pop and chill. I don't drink alcohol. I want to know who Jenny is. Those words are not a sentence. I don't drink alcohol. How else would you block out the voices? So, take it up with Marvel Comics. I didn't make that up. This is the funniest comment ever because I'm trying to figure out if you said this with the context of me and my partner in mind or if you just said this as a general thing. Because if you said this knowing about me and my partner, that's funny. If you said it not knowing, that's actually even funnier. Because you want a duo that's from Alberta and Saskatchewan? Look no further. Someone else has also made this comparison that we're like Deadpool and Wolverine because I'm from Alberta and they're from Saskatchewan, and it's very silly. This entire team up in the 2008 run of Deadpool with Spider-Man is a fucking masterpiece.
What do you mean in this team up? This has Wade calling Spidey baby boy, has him steal Spider-Man's suit to fake his death, and also oh my god, the light is hitting it weird. Just casually has Deadpool in a dress. No, Deadpool in a dress is great for so many reasons. But my favorite thing about it is that they don't even they mention it once. Like it's just there. The scene just starts with Spider-Man showing up and he can see him in his dress and he says, "Are you pointing a gun at me?" Yes, 2 of them. He walks in the dress. Spider-Man just continues to talk about, you know, whatever the case and everything they're working on right now. Like, he doesn't even acknowledge it, okay? The only time they acknowledge it is right here. Is Wade acknowledging it. He says, "Save me, Spider-Man." He says, "This is unbelievable." And no, not the monkey part, you. And he's like, "Is it the dress?" He says nothing. And then they get attacked. Okay. Wade is still in the dress. He grabs him by the dress, but still doesn't say anything. Bro continues to fight in the dress. Like he goes, "Time for me to make an exit. Terminator exit." He runs off. Next thing you know, he's back and he's just not wearing the dress. And then it just doesn't come up again. Like, yeah, why not? But just why not? That's just who Deadpool is. He might just randomly show up in a dress over his suit and then fight in his dress. And again, at this point in the comic, Spider-Man does not like Deadpool, and he still doesn't say anything about it. He's just like, okay. Incredible. I love that. Again, this is the same comic issue that gives us Wade calling Peter a baby boy and stealing Spidey's suit to fake Spidey's death. Like, not the same issue, but it's the same team up, you know? Same comic. Incredible.
Whoa. What year is it? Oh, thank God you're awake. Oh, yeah. Hi. I cannot believe I let you talk me into that. We are never doing that again. You're very close to me right now. Right. Sorry. I was just worried. You were worried about me? Yes, of course. Remind me, what did we do? I was frustrated because I wasn't able to get accurate data for my punches. Right, and I can heal from anything, so you could punch me at full force. Yeah. So, like, what'd you find out? One punch! Took you out, Wade. No way. For how long? Hours, Wade. That's kind of hot. What? No! Oh my god. Why are you into this? What is wrong with you? Oh, baby boy. You don't got time for all that. I think you still have a concussion. Probably. So what'd you find out? Oh. Well, I'm getting close to the end of this. But comic I just read. Spidey and Deadpool swapped costumes
to fake Spider-Man's death to take out a villain. So that's twice that Deadpool has worn Spidey's costume to fake Spidey's death to take out a villain. That is so funny to me for no good reason. And I thought I would share. Hey, if you're a Spidey pool shipper, you've probably seen this panel and this one. If you haven't already seen that in the actual comic and you're wondering which one it is, I have it right here. It is from the Deadpool comic run from 2012-2015, what it looks like, and is the 10th issue of that comic. Right here. One thing to keep in mind, though, is that the Spidey in this comic is actually Doc Ock possessing Peter's body. It's unfortunately not actually Peter Parker, but, you know, still. Wade doesn't know that. But, here's the first panel. You know, if the internet could see the two of us like this, it would have fits. What are you prattling on about? I guess we go to different websites. And then right here, we're more like lovers. Remind me why I don't just blow this guy away, sweetums. It's actually funny because this is Don't Call It a Team Up, the collection of comics with Spider-Man and Deadpool before the actual team-up comic from 2016. So I started reading this one, and then I recognized the art style, and I was like, wait a minute. And I checked, and it was like, holy shit, it's the viral panels. So I thought I would share both of those panels that are like viral on the internet for Spidey Pool are in the same comic issue, literally like 2 pages apart. Very fun. That is one giant eggplant. Eggplant. Why did it have to be an eggplant? We need to stall it while I contact the Avengers. Oh, I'll stall it, alright. Eat lead, eggplant! Holy, it ate Deadpool. He was a friend of mine, you monster! Well, not a friend exactly. More of a nuisance, if you must know. But he was my nuisance!
Wait. Before you say anything, I want to guess what happened based on your face. Someone died. No. You want a prize! I'm not getting better at this.
Hey, Spidey. Hi, Deadpool. What do you want? I saw that little display of yours at Pride. Very interesting. Okay, I didn't, what? I just didn't know that about you. I love learning things about you, baby boy. So you learned I'm bi. Big deal. You're bisexual. Uh-huh. So you... Yes, I swing both ways. How else do you want me to put this? Swing both ways. Good one, Webs. That wasn't on purpose. Sure it wasn't. Is there a reason you're here? Spider-Man, Spider-Man. Oh dear God. Does whatever a biter can. This was a mistake. Spins a web any size. Okay, you're literally just singing the song. Catches chicks, just like guys. There it is. Look out, there goes the Spider-Man. Please leave me alone. You sure you don't want to catch me in one of your webs? I will web your mouth shut. That wasn't a no.